What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the top of the map in the red color. The one, the only Magyar. He's playing Zeus. His opponent today, his name is spelled backwards, Naraku, but he is better known as AOM King. He's also playing Zeus. This was a gameplay back in 2009 in the Corn tournament where basically King and Magyar were the two favorites. A bunch of really strong competition were in there. Yeah, so the maps are Mediterranean. We're probably going to see a big water fight in the middle of the map. I believe this was a tournament which was double elimination, and that meant that if you got knocked out of the tournament, so we see a bolt right there. What happened? Both players used bolt. Yeah, both players used bolt. So Magyar got a villager and King got a catastrophic scout. So I'll come back to the tournament, but basically what this means for Magyar is he's going to have an earlier advance time than King. However, King's going to be able to pick up all of the pigs on the map, which is going to give him a big advantage in terms of food income. However, that's probably not going to matter because Magyar has got the double boar, so he's going to be totally fine for a 410 advance or something crazy like that. If we jump back over to King's perspective, and we jump back into the discussion of the tournament. Basically, the tournament was a double elimination, which means that if you lose once, you go into a loser's bracket and then you play again. So this was King and Magyar's first meeting, and they both were, I believe they were both at the end of the winner's bracket. So they both played each other at the end of the winner's bracket, and I believe it was a best of 5, or no, best of 3, I believe it was. And then whoever lost that went into the losers bracket, and then they had to play each other again for a best of 7 or something like that. So that made this tournament extremely interesting. So basically, this game, King and Magyar decided this series, King and Magyar decided to play a Zeus mirror because they're both known in this time and age for their Zeus play, and also this tournament was very heavily populated by Isis players because Isis was, well, not even just Isis players, everyone was just like training Isis because Isis was clearly the best god, having at least a 55 to 45 percentage chance of winning in your favor if you're playing Isis on pretty much every map in every matchup. At the very worst. So that's why everyone was playing Isis, and they wanted to make some exciting games happen. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on over here. We see 4 fishing ships for Magyar. He's getting his temple up. He's got 4 villages on the wood, and he's got 10 villages, 12 villages, 14 villages. I don't know what's going on. He's got a lot of villages on well, that's super fast. Got a lot of villages on food. And he's going up at like 4 minutes, not even 4:10. For the normal Zeus advance time is 4:10, so you squeeze out another villager. But he's going up at 4 minutes, which is crazy. So he's basically going to have 1 less villager, but that's not going to matter too much because he's going to be advancing so quickly as opposed to, and he's going through Athena, as opposed to King, who hasn't even clicked the advance time yet. He's actually a little bit of battling here. He's going to be chucking a couple of villagers over to gold now. And we're going to see him with 6, 7. What's he doing here? We got a Hermes from King. King going through the classical age through Hermes. Looks like I would guess the Hermes is so that he can build some ships into his docks and abuse the fact he's got the 6 fishing ships because he got his villager bolted. He's just trying to hang out on him. He's got so many villagers on wood, so that means he's not going for a fast. He's not going for a fast heroic because you want to keep all your villagers on food if you've got a fast heroic. And we need to notice that Magyar, now hitting the classical age, has not scouted that because he doesn't have a catastrophic scout. So he's got no idea what's going on. He's going to see Hermes and probably assume, if I was Magyar, I'd assume a fast heroic age. So let's jump back over to King's perspective and see what he's doing. So he hasn't yet. He's building that second dock. Got a couple of villages here. Magyar's triremes coming into the fray right now, going to be picking off some fishing ships. And we're probably going to see that ceasefire cast straight away. We don't see any immediate use of that wood there, so King either playing very slow, which is not like him, or he's planning something quite devious here. And we see a house coming in here. Villagers going to be constantly bumping. Some more fishing ships being built. Looks like, okay, this is just him being sneaky here. He's got a couple of these fishing ships. Oh no, he's just garrisoned one into one dock and one into the other dock. Oh, okay, so we see some forward villager action going on here. Archery range is getting pushed up close, so we're going to see a land attack on Mediterranean. This is very, very bizarre, but if we jump over to Magyar's perspective, he's got no idea this is going on. This is actually incredibly intelligent. Triremes still being built by Magyar because he's... excuse me. Because the way to play against a fast heroic is to kind of go mass trireme and then micro that Scala really well and basically jump back onto your shoreline with an Odysseus and basically attempt to pick off the Scala with your Odysseus and then just kind of abuse the fact you've got a lot of fishing ships going. Okay, so jump back over to King's perspective. King's chucking up some more archery ranges over here. He's got a couple of these Toxotos coming out right now. Fishing ships getting picked off. Unfortunate for King. King doesn't have a lot of stuff going on in his base. He's got a couple of resources here. Doesn't have any favor for that Minotaur. I think it's cost 16 favor. Military Academy being pushed out here. King's just like holding off on this as much as he can, just in order to make this surprise as best as possible. Magyar still producing triremes, has no idea what's going on. We see a villager spotting it. Oh no, King's been spotted. The villager was moving forward to build another dock, I believe, or a wall or something. Toxotos coming in right now. Hoplites being pumped out. Toxotos from the top coming in. So King's built on both sides of the map. These Toxotos going to come in right now, going to be picking off a bunch of these villages. We'll see archery range is getting pumped up as fast as possible for Magyar. Magyar in a lot of stress right now. He's got no access to wood on this side of the map if King moves in over here, and King's going to be strangling the wood. So these archery ranges are not going to be that useful because Magyar's not going to be able to gather any wood. So unlike a normal win condition, you can actually, there's actually a win condition here from a wood strangle, which is kind of funny in its own way. Jason being produced right now, villagers getting picked off left, right, and center. And we see, if we jump back onto King's perspective, he does have a couple of Toxotos over here, so King definitely going for that wood starve. I mean, he can also pick off the gold mine as well because he's on this side of the map, but it's going to be a difficult thing for him to do, in all honesty, just because he has to deal with the Jason and the Odysseus and the Toxotos. We do see many Toxotos getting built right now. I think another archery range over this side wouldn't go astray for King. More villagers on on gold are needed. He is currently building them. We see the upgrades. He has no pickaxe. Magyar, on the other hand, has no upgrades at all because he advanced so fast. We see the stragglers getting chopped down now here. So that's going to allow Magyar to build a couple more Toxotos out and keep that push happening as best as possible. Jumping back over to King's perspective, he is building that third archery range that I was talking about. All of those Toxotos getting picked off. Nice micro there from Magyar, making some of those Toxotos get pushed back. Jason getting focus fired right now. They are picking up quite a few Toxotos right now as Magyar is microing that Jason away while the Odysseus is getting some free hits in. King not doing the best micro here. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. But all these Toxotos getting picked off right now by Magyar. This is really interesting. All of the Odysseus now getting focus fired. I wouldn't mind seeing a Odysseus getting built by King himself because he's actually quite strong in this situation. If we jump back over to Magyar's perspective, Magyar is sitting at 0 basically wood. All these villages getting picked off right now, and we see a restoration being used by Magyar. That's not going to do a whole lot for him. because King could just move back. Those Toxtos were pretty much full HP. We see the Hoplite getting straight onto that Hippocon, and we do see a lot of interesting focus fire here from King. King's going to be sitting in a pretty rough position if he can't continually produce units and stay in this game. We see the population of 40, basically 50 for King and 62 for Magyar, but most of that population is sitting here on these triremes. Magyar not doing a lot with these triremes. You could probably be picking off some of these fishing ships or something over here. If we jump back over to King's perspective, King is focus firing that Hippocon does fall. All of these Toxotos in the back are getting picked off right now. King has got the Odysseus out, so he's finally matched for power there. Odysseus hits for 9 damage, 350 HP, so it's a big meat shield if he can be used that way. Don't want to be focus firing these Hippocon because the Hippocon can run around and basically cause mischief for your Toxotos. Still got a couple of Toxotos on the top of the map, so that's enough to basically have that gold income completely locked down. And we see Magyar's economy kind of starting to stabilize right now. He's still producing from only, well, he's actually built a third military building there with the stable. And we can see his population has started to hit about the same as what King's got here. King is actually in a bit of a weird spot here. He still needs to be producing units. He still needs to keep pushing through. He probably has an option of like maybe rebuilding docks over here and maybe taking the water back if he felt like that was a win condition for him. He does have a lot of units queued here though, so that's not necessarily a great thing for him. What you want to be doing in this situation is if you are struggling to spend your resources, you build more military buildings. That's a general rule. And we do see Magyar getting picked up a little bit here. Nice micro though by King. Like you often see lesser skilled players focus firing the Hippocons that are running around instead of the Toxotos in the back line. Even moving them forward a little bit isn't actually as bad as you think, because instead of shooting the Hippocon, you shoot the Toxotos, which die much faster, and they actually do more damage than the Hippocons really do if they're en masse. Basically, it's kind of a little bit funny like that. But King kind of winning this fight. He's got the mass of Toxotos instead of anything else right there. King's got a bunch of villages on wood, a bunch of villages on gold. Has enough to keep producing all of these Toxotos here. He's producing from 4 military, basically 4 archery ranges at the moment, and he is producing from the military academy as well. Trying to pick off the Odysseus there, probably not the best move. He does do a lot of damage, but the Toxotos get picked off so much faster. If you pick those off quickly, then they basically just, they die. They do less damage because they die faster than the Odysseus if you were to pick him off. So he's more just there for the meat shield than much else. Odysseus in the backline at 14 HP from King, so King's been a little bit lucky there, but that's still alive. Magyar going to have to be a little bit more careful with these villages, getting a little bit ambitious, chopping wood over here. He probably could have done some sneaky shenanigans and moved his villagers to the top side of the map, and instead of trying to fight over here, moved his army over this side completely and tried to see what could happen there. We do see a wait, what's going on here? Labyrinth being researched by King. That does make your Minotaurs cheaper, so they're 150, I think, instead of 200 food, and they do become quite a bit stronger. And we do see that King's going to be following Magyar right now. Magyar moving up for this top gold mine. Not really happy with his home base gold mine at the moment. It's only got 400 gold, so he's made that early move over instead of the late one. And this is all going to come down to this fight right now. If King can basically kill off all of the villagers up at this top little location here and secure that, then that's going to be enough for him to basically hold the game and take a win right here. He is actually a little bit ahead on the economy at the moment as well because of all of the villages he's picked off. King not being quite 100% certain of what's going on with his army right there, but enough to be picking off villages right now. All of Magyar's units are dying. Magyar moving his villages back into the base. And this is going to be, it looks like it's going to be GG right here. The Minotaur has come out, but with that many Toxotos, not going to be enough to bull Minotaur. Such a ferocious unit. Magyar does tap out, says GG. Wow, what a game. What a game. really well played by King. This is one of those things that people didn't really appreciate from King when they have that debate of greatest of all time. And clearly, Magyar had the best micro of anyone ever. Clearly, his strategies were always, I want to say, meta. So they were always the best strategy for most situations. However, I think I think people miss what made King so good, and that was his innovation, his strategic innovation. This kind of stuff you don't see very often. You don't normally, you wouldn't see somebody going through Hermes and doing a classical attack. It's like he's just in the mind of Magyar. He like really thought this game out, and I want to go back to that moment in the start of the game where he bolted the Hippicon. He bolted the Hippicon late. So normally what you want to do is you want to get that bolt out early for the Hippicon so that he can't bolt a villager. But he got it out late, so he lost a villager. But that doesn't mean it's bad to still bolt the Hippicon there, because it meant that Magyar couldn't scout what he was doing. If Magyar still had a Hippicon and he saw Hermes, what I'd be doing as Magyar, if I still have my... Sorry, did I say Hippicon? I mean Cascopus. If I had my Cascopus scout still running around as Magyar, I would be running around checking his woodline, checking his food if I saw Hermes, in order to see, is he going to the heroic age? Can I find an armory? Can I see the docks? Is he building any sneaky docks? Is he building on the side with units? Is he sending villagers forward? Something that's really important. And I feel like had Magyar played this game again, exactly the same, had no preconceptions of what was going on from King, I reckon he would have built a Pegasus scout and then scouted around with that. That would have been a really, really intelligent, and it probably would have been enough for him to start building land early enough and come back in this game. So I'm just putting the thought out there that King was as good as he was because of strategic innovation, more so than anything else. His like macro and his micro were always incredibly good as well. And I think the other thing you have to notice or know about this game is that I think this was late King versus prime Magyar. So Magyar at his strongest versus King in probably like after he had his peak. So King being, I think it was 2009, King's peak 2006. He probably stopped playing somewhere in the middle there. I'm not exactly sure. But that is also a thing. So King managing to sneak a win here. Let me know if you want me to cast more of these Magyar King games. I found a stash of them in my recorded games folder, which is nice. RTS Sanctuary is down at the moment, so here's something as well. I'll put it in the description. But if you have recorded games of any expert player, I don't want your just general recorded games. I want expert players from any time period. So maybe Army Corps or King, SPOEF, I don't know, anybody really, doesn't matter. If you have any of those, I would love you to send them to my email address. It'll be in the link below and the drop down box below. Just because RTS Sanctuary is down, I don't have any access to them, and I'm looking for some fresh games that I personally haven't seen. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Boyd. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.